This recreation of an off-road legend is weird, it's impractical, and it's expensive, but it's a unique and interesting car, and it was a massive sales success for a very good reason. In the shed today, we have the off-road BRUISER, or is it shopping mall PERUSER? This is the Toyota FJ40. Let's go! There is a saying that everything that was once old, of course, becomes new again. Have you noticed how all the cool and old stuff is starting to make a comeback? Moustaches, mullets, vinyl records, communism, film cameras, the Ford Mustang, and of course, the Suzuki Jimny. And Toyota is the current undisputed king of rehashing old classics. We've got the GT86, we've got the Toyota Supra, and of course this, the Toyota FJ Cruiser, which was created as a nod to the massively successful 40 Series FJ Toyota Landcruiser, introduced in the 1960s through to the 1970s. Toyota originally brought the FJ Cruiser concept to market at the 2003 North American Auto Show as a reimagination exercise, as an empty gesture, this is what it would look like if we decided to recreate it. It was designed to bring excitement and relevance back to the brand, especially for young people. Toyota had kind of lost their way at that time. They were producing automotive appliances like a car equivalent of a dishwasher or a microwave or a fridge. And when they released the concept, they didn't quite expect the response they would get from the public. You see, people went absolutely nuts for it. So they took that concept and they made it real. Only 2 years later, at the 2005 Auto Show, they brought the final production version to market. Order books filled immediately. An aftermarket scene exploded, and a Toyota legend was reborn. And why wouldn't everyone want one? The really unusual design, the flat color schemes that they came in with the white cap roof, this one's been wrapped of course, and the Toyota script written on the front badge. The other unique design cues include wide flappy mirrors, these super rugged factory option roof racks, this rear tire carrier, these squared arches and chunky ass tires, and these self-permanent cancel rear doors told everyone at Westfield that you meant business, even if you didn't. If you were to describe this thing to someone who didn't really know much about cars, how would you describe it? No, I'm just reviewing one. I think I might buy one actually, yeah. FJ Cruiser. No, FJ Cruiser. What's it look like? It's kind of like a modern retro four-drive sexy Lego car. Cool, but kind of ugly. Yeah. Now picture a short brick with big wheels on it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's green. Yeah, it's Sicilian olive green. Yeah. You what? Jeep Wrangler? No, not a Wrangler. Kind of like that, but just not shit. Yeah. Your credit card bill? OnlyFans? No, I never heard of it. What's... No, okay. Sorry, Mum. Sorry, no, I gotta go. I gotta go. Bye. Don't put that in. And I can see why everyone wanted one. It's a modern take on an old classic, but built on a proven and reliable base. You see, they use the underpinnings of the Toyota Prado or the 4Runner, depending on where you're watching from, so it's about as reliable and as robust as the day is long. However, in the JDM, Australian and Middle Eastern markets, it was offered only with a 5-speed automatic. Only the Americans got the manual, and no one got a diesel. You see, diesel is generally the preferred option for something so heavy, so off-road capable, that needs a big range from a single tank of juice and with towing potential. Because Australians, of course, love to tow, but they also hate paying for fuel as well. So a petrol-only model just doesn't make any sense. And manuals are generally the enthusiast choice, giving the driver generally more control over how the car drives, behaves, climbs, and descends. And manuals are just much more fun. They just are. So no diesel, no manual. That was a huge miss, in my opinion. And if they make the new Toyota FJ EV only, Listen very closely, Toyota. That would be a fucking catastrophe. Well, Toyota must have thought that their customers were serious about off-road because they loaded it with a bunch of technology that made it a bona fide off-roader, just like full-time four-wheel drive with selectable high and low range and locking differentials, a high-mounted air intake with sealed electronics so that you could wade through waters of up to 700 mils, body-on-frame construction to maximize suspension travel and wheel articulation, underbody skid plates, a flip-up window for your dog, blank auxiliary switches for your winches and other pleasure devices. And these massive dials and switches that you can operate with gloves on. But say what you will, I think that Toyota also developed this for the shopping mall peruser in mind. You know, the fancy coffee type. There's all kinds of design decisions and features that Toyota built into the FJ that just made it weird, but also at the same time, made it interesting as well. I'll explain. Now, if you like chips, you're gonna love this windscreen. So when rocks hit it from the road, from the truck in front, instead of on a normal car, instead of glancing off, they hit the road and cause chips. In addition, the rectangular design of this windscreen means that Toyota need to use 3 wiper blades. So you're going to enjoy replacing your blades more often and of a very specific kind as well. Why? But these wipers do have one good party trick. The same windscreen angle also creates wind noise at freeway speeds. So at least you're not going to hear people in the back ask you why they need to open the rear doors to open the front. And that creates another interesting FJ problem. So picture this. You're in a really tight car spot and your mate Danny wants to jump out from the back to withdraw a quick $300 fast cash from the ATM. Well, Danny's going to have a problem. Danny's going to go to jail. Toyota jail, that is. To open the rear doors, you have to open the front door. So if Danny tries to jump out in a tight space, as you can see, he's got nowhere to go. But when you do get both doors completely open, you've got this massive space here. And because there's no B-pillar, it's a huge gaping hole, which kind of reminds me of your mum. And because there's no B-pillar, Toyota had to make the C-pillar at the back super, super thick to give the chassis the rigidity that it needed. What this also means is a massive blind spot at the back. So I guess just don't change lanes. Avoid merging if you can. When sitting back here, I'm sitting next to pillar and a really small window. So I feel like I'm cocooned in a little dark cave of privacy, which I quite like. But the novelty will wear off very quickly, especially because these windows don't go down. So your passengers are going to get car sick. And when they eventually do spew on the floor, there's no carpets in the FJ. It's all plastic and rubber. So that was actually quite a good thought.
Driving the FJ on the road, it is perfectly well mannered. The steering has plenty of feedback, and with its shorter wheelbase, it's almost nimble for its size. Although turning corners, you can feel its weight as it rolls around like an empty can of Woodstock on the floor on the Friday afternoon train from Newcastle. The 4-litre V6 has bagfuls of torque, especially down low where you need it for climbing on the trails. It does get a little thrashy higher up in the rev range, but wherever the needle spends its time, my god, this thing absolutely drinks. So consider that hefty fuel bill if this is on your list as a daily drive. The brakes are perfectly adequate, but do expect to cook them pretty quickly if you tow anything really heavy, especially going down long and steep hills. From the inside, visibility is alright. There's lots of panel and not much window, but I do get the feeling like I'm sitting in a machine gun turret or a spaceship from Independence Day. It's a pretty cool feeling. The seats are comfortable, there's a surprisingly large amount of headroom, and just like all Toyotas, which are famous for their excellent, effective air conditioning, the Cruiser cools down on a scorcher like today very quickly. That is very much appreciated. And finally, if you're going to take it on freeway trips, consider the fact that the windscreen is near vertical, there's no carpet, and the all-terrain tyres and roof racks that you're probably going to put on it could make long drives a little bit tiring. But overall, it's a very comfortable and spacious drive, as you'd expect from a big Toyota.
So yes, the FJ Cruiser is great off-road. Yes, it does also have some practicality challenges. Yes, it's going to cost you everything you own to be able to fuel as a daily drive. But man, what a cool car. I think Toyota got the FJ Cruiser bang on. Making compromises like the windscreen, like the ridiculous doors, like the lack of visibility, like the shape of this thing, like all of these things make it weird and inherently just make it really interesting and cool and popular and ridiculously expensive to buy secondhand. Don't even bother looking at how much these things go for. It's out of this world. But unlike most of the crap hitting the showrooms next year, even this year, it's not electric and it's got character. And for that reason, should you buy one? You fucking right you should. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.